Many in legacy media love mass shootings. You guys love it. Now, I'm not saying that you love the tragedy, but I am saying that you love the ratings. Crying white mothers are ratings gold.
And I say this sincerely, do we really think 17-year-olds on their own are going to plan a nationwide rally? I would say to you very plainly that organized groups that are out there like George Soros...
Coming after every single one of you and demanding that you take action, demanding that you make a change.
Right now, in the name of 17 people, you cannot ask the NRA to keep their money out of your campaign?
Our American lawmakers from Congress and Senate to stop slinging mud across the aisle and come up with a bipartisan solution to an obvious epidemic of gun violence and mass shooting in America.
Ignored artist here. So many thoughts are going through my head. The other night I watched the town hall special that CNN put on, where those dear children and the teachers and the parents spoke to the NRA representative and the senators. And just thinking about it right now makes me want to weep. Those children are so inspirational. And it's not the first time I've heard children say things that were just common sense that adults just don't get. But it's unfortunate that these poor children had to go through such horrible, horrible terror in order to have to go out and rally and create something so that their voices can be heard. So that they would not be ignored. And so many of these adults are trying so hard to ignore them because they don't want to hear it. Because these adults want to do what they want to do. They're being spoiled brats while the children are being the adults in this situation. It's fascinating, isn't it? How the adults want what they want. So what they do, they're acting like children, throwing temper tantrums, because the children are saying, no, you don't get what you want this time. Because what you want is bad for you, is bad for everyone. So we have to put our foot down and say no. But what the adults are doing, they're stamping around saying, no, we want what we want. You can't do this to us. They're acting like spoiled brats. They're throwing temper tantrums. And the children are saying, we have to put our foot down now. Because you've had what you've wanted for so long that you've messed things up. And it's now time to take your toys away from you. Because you've been bad little girls and bad little boys. The children are now adults. And the adults are now children. And what is amazing is that just because of the age, just because of numbers, people believe that those children who are on the path, who are on the microphones, who are talking, they believe that they don't know what they're talking about. When in fact, children have always known more than what adults know, because they're not clouded by this idea of money, of wanting luxury, of wanting things that's not necessary. Children have always had better minds than adults. The unfortunate thing is that children become adults. And once they become adults, then that's when they become dumb. we adults are not smarter than children. No, we're not. Children are born with common sense and they use their common sense. The Bible said, a child shall lead. And it's true. I have always been in awe of children. The things they say is just natural. They use their brains. Whereas we adults, we see things that we want. And the things that we want is not the things that we need. And we cease to use common sense. It's not the children that has ruined our world. It's the adults. We need to listen to the children. Listen to them now, because once they become adults, then they become just as dumb as the rest of us. It's unfortunate that we as adults have allowed this tragedy to happen. It's no one person's fault. It is all of our faults. Now we can say things like a mentally ill person should not have access to a gun. I will say that's true. I'm mentally ill. And I like guns. I find them fascinating. I find weapons fascinating. But I know I should never have one. I don't know what I would ever do if I was triggered. I would hope that I wouldn't do anything bad. I'm not a violent person. But just the same. However, I also know that there are hundreds of thousands of people out there who have never been diagnosed. And every single person in this world has a mental illness of one kind or another. Maybe not as extreme as another. Anyone can hurt someone if given a reason. So that's not a valid reason to change a law. Common sense is a valid reason. We need to use common sense. And to say we got to protect our children, we must protect our children. But the Las Vegas massacre, that man was not 18. He was my age, maybe a little bit older. And he massacred people of many ages. That man that went into the church, he was from the military. And he massacred people of many ages. That kid sat and had church with those African Americans and then went back and massacred them. There was another gentleman that bombed a place. He didn't use a gun. There are lots of ways people can destroy each other. The NRA, your time is up, darlings. Politicians, whether you pretend you're a good guy or not, a good woman or not, your time is up. People, I'm going to quote a pastor that I've been listening to, which I believe he gets it from the Bible. Do you have ears? Listen. Your time is up. These things don't happen just because. And none of this is new. Nothing is new under the sun. Listen. Watch. Pay attention. And stop. And hear. The children are speaking. Just because you are of a certain age does not mean you know anything. Always assume you know nothing, because you know nothing. I know nothing. A child shall lead. If you want change, then you better shut up and listen.
So we don't know what we're talking about. We have stared down the barrel of an AR-15 ourselves. We're just trying to not let 17 of us get shot in the face again.